In this final video of the 1L's Introduction to Bluebook Citation, we'll talk about the grammar of citation. So, to understand citation and to start to develop some citation intuition for whether a citation is correct or not, it's helpful to know that there is a grammar of legal citation. There are certain structures and components for every citation that help citations serve the functions that they have to serve, meaning that they have to have a source, they have to have information where the reader can look them up to verify them, and then they have to have information so that they support the argument that they're a part of that tells how strong the source is and therefore tells you something about how strong the argument is. Cases, statutes, and secondary sources all have a similar grammar for the citations. They all have a title or a name of the source, they all have a location, and they all have information about their validity or strength. So as you're learning about the structure of the Blue Book, you're also going to be learning about the structure of citations themselves so that you can start to develop a sense just by looking at a citation of whether you've included all of the necessary information or perhaps whether you've included too much information that the reader's not going to need. So you'll learn how to navigate citations at the same time that you're learning to navigate the Blue Book. So citations have a structure just like sentences have a structure. And so there is a grammar to citation just like there is a grammar to textual sentences. And so just like textual sentences have to have certain components to be a complete sentence, citation has to have certain components to be a complete citation. So for a textual sentence, a standard sentence might have a subject, a verb, and a direct object. For citations, you'll have a title, which identifies the source, location information, as well as validity information, which usually has a date, and also for cases, some information about the court that issued the opinion. And so even though these are very different sources, they all have similar features to their citations. So for a case citation, the title of the source is the name of the case itself. The location is the volume and page number along with the reporter abbreviation, and the validity is the identification of the court and the date. And so that allows the reader to get all of the information that they need. They find out that it's a case by looking at the source name, which is a case name. They can look it up using the location information, and they know immediately how strong it is and how it strengthens or doesn't strengthen the argument based on the validity information of the court and date. For a statute citation, it has similar information. Again, it has a title or a source and the location. Now, sometimes with a statute, you have a title that is separate from the source or location. And so sometimes the title is the name of an act, and then you have the source and location being one and the same. And so the source is 28 U.S.C. 1331, and that also happens to be the location. The validity information is found in the parenthetical, just like it is with a case. And for a statute, that validity information is going to be the year that it was enacted. In addition, if you're citing a print statute or a statute that you found in print, you'll also indicate in that parenthetical whether you found that, whether the most recent version of the statute can be found entirely in the main volume, or perhaps in a pocket part, or perhaps in some combination of the pocket part and the main volume. For a statute that you find online, in that parenthetical, you'll give the currency information as it's given for the online statute, so your reader knows how current that statute was when you looked it up. In exercises 6 and 7 of the Interactive Citation Workstation, you'll learn how to find that information for the validity and how to include it properly within the citation. And then finally, secondary sources also have title, validity, and location. And so the title or source information for a secondary source usually also includes the author's name, as well as the location. Here it's the volume and page number, along with the name of the law review that this article is published in. And then the validity information is going to be the year of publication, which lets the reader know where this fits into the timeline of the particular analysis or argument that you're making. We know that the law evolves constantly, and so we want to know where was or when was the source produced vis-a-vis the current day that you're reading the argument. And so that validity information helps the reader evaluate how much credence or weight to give that authority.